that we were just here. Time flies when you're having fun. So switch your mat in the opposite way, and you get a whole different experience. So traditionally, moon salutations are the opposite, obviously, of sun salutations. Sun salutations are meant to warm and bring heat and work. Well, that's not really probably what they said, but moon salutations are for cooling and meditative practice. Now, you guys have practiced these with me, and they're not always cooling and meditative, but we're going to start out that way today and just see how that feels to shift into a more easeful practice, and then we'll ramp it up in the center, moving into the creative end of moon salutations. They're all about more feminine energy. So when you're ready, I would love it if everybody would come into child's pose. So you can face your heads toward the pool, place your head on the mat, big toes together, knees apart, let your hips drop toward your heels as much as possible, knees wide and head down, and just breathing in and out. So see if you can sink your hips back towards your heels. And what? I love seeing all these faces again. And then as you arrive here, is this horribly comfortable? It's horribly uncomfortable because you're not in the pose. You hate it. Do you not love this pose? It's okay if you don't, because I have others.
No.
Okay. Cool. All right, so as we arrive into child's pose, see if you can allow the energy of this easeful release toward the earth to be your breath. So breathe it in, ease and release and surrender downward. Breathe it out, settle your body closer to the ground. See if your hips can sink a little more and allow even your bones to become heavy. And as you allow this release, this surrender, feel the breath moving through your body. So just be with the breath like water flowing through the body. Hearing the sound of the breath as you draw it in and out. In and out. How heavy can you allow your hips to be? How heavy can you allow your head to be? And as you breathe in and breathe out, invite an even deeper breath. So maybe even beginning now to count your breath. Inhale fully 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. One more, just like that. Easy in breath, easy out breath. And from your child's pose, release the counting of the breath. Draw your chin more towards your chest, pressing down into your fingertips to lift your head off the ground. And introduce a little rounding of the spine as you pull the middle of your back up, rising up onto your knees. Hands come beneath shoulders. We'll walk our knees in. Take a couple of cat-cows. Easy does it. Belly button towards spine empty, chin toward chest. Inhale, belly toward the earth, lift head and tail. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Now allow your hips to begin to make circles as you move through this shape. You may feel it in your side bodies as well. Just allow some more fluid motion, maybe even bending your elbows a little bit. So we're still moving through cat and cow, but actually circling our hips at the same time. Maybe circling your shoulders a little. Just notice what's here for you. Get a little bit flowy and then reverse the flow of the circles. If it's easier for you, come to neutral and think about where your rib cage is and lean your rib cage over to the right. Drop your rib cage toward the earth and the rib cage up toward the left and the back. So using this barrel of the rib cage to sort of stir your energy. It's all wrapped around your spine. So begin to see the suppleness and then reverse the flow one more time. And then maybe allow the hips to just move. Allow the shoulders to just move. Notice what's here, exploring what you're feeling. This is all I do all day long, is tell people to explore what they're feeling. It's a great place to do it because nobody's looking. All our eyes are closed, it's good. And then when you're ready, come to stillness. Turn your toes under. We're gonna have one down dog today. Push the floor forward, sink your heels back. Release the weight of your head, press the mat forward with your hands. On your exhalation, step your right foot up between your hands. Walk the hands around to the long edge of the mat. So you're facing this way, that's right. Now heel and toe your feet a little bit wider. Find your edge in this wide angle forward fold. Release the crown of your head toward the earth. And it may be miles away from the earth. That's perfectly fine. Just see what it feels like to let go of the weight of your whole torso, your whole shoulders, your head. Releasing all the weight of everything that is not in this moment. What is this moment about? This moment is about exploration, about noticing how you feel, about staying on your own mat and your own lane. So we remove competition, we remove judgment, we remove expectation, and we're just with our own experience. Take a deep breath in, walk your hands up underneath your shoulders, lift halfway. Lengthen from the tail to the crown. Exhale, fold in, finding your edge. Keeping fingertips there, rise up one more time. Halfway up, flat back. Exhale, lower down. One more time, rise. Walk your hands so that you can feel into a foundation. So either on the ground or on your thighs. Then heel and toe your feet a little bit closer. Rock your weight a little bit side to side, letting the toes move outward, radiating outward, heels move in, hands come up to the thighs, elbows squeeze toward each other as you wring out that space between the scapulas. Rock your weight a little bit, and then on your inhalation, curl the back and come all the way up, 5-pointed star. If you get dizzy, that was a big movement. Hand over the bridge of the nose and the forehead. From here, reach out. Radiate out, just like last week, we radiated out in all directions. Sink your heels down. Now on your next exhalation, turn your left toes toward the short edge of the mat. Yep, that's the best way for you guys, right? Left toes toward the short edge of the mat, come into warrior two. Find your edge. Let me see all those beautiful warrior twos. Most of you guys have been practicing with me for a really long time, so I expect awesome warrior twos. But no judgment, right? Right. Run into the long edge of your back foot. See if you can. Yeah. She knows I'm looking. Ah, this is awesome. Fabulous. Yes. Amen to all those warrior twos. You guys are fabulous. Now, what happens when we get here is our arms start to get tired and we start to back off, soften. That's okay. See where your energy is and see if you can turn them on just a little bit more. Play with this idea of flipping your palms up, receiving. Notice how much, well, see what it's like for you. For me, it's like, oh, I'm holding weights all of a sudden. Could just be me. On your next exhalation, flip that right palm down to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Right hand sinks. Left knee stays really bent toward that 90-degree angle. So you can look down at your back foot or you can look up at your top arm. Either one. Just notice the difference in the energy. Let's all take a deep breath in and look up if it's okay for your neck at that top hand. Sink a little more into the left knee. Reach. And now, on your next exhalation, look down at your right foot. They both feel sort of amazing, just different. Notice what it's like for you. Inhale Inhale, look back up at that left hand. Reach up and over, sink down a little lower. What does that feel like to you? Give it an adjective. Just notice where you're feeling it in the body. Notice the energy of this, just setting your gaze in a different spot. And now look down at your right foot and notice what that's like. On your next exhalation, straighten the front leg and wind the arms all the way around to triangle pose. So we're adding this aspect of mindfulness into our practice today a little deeper. All this we can notice inside of movements we've done a million times, right? And they become more sparkly, more vibrant, more new. Like last week, maybe more radiant, more attractive. Reach out through your right hand, down through your left hand, root down into both feet. Now inhale, come back up into warrior two. Root down into both feet, turn your toes toward the long edge of the mat, float your hands to your heart. Thumbs to sternum, set your intention if you haven't for today yet. Feel into it. Take a deep breath in. And just like last week, radiate that intention out into the room. Open your arms and then exhale, hands back to heart. Let's heel and toe our feet in once or twice to get a little control over our feet. Genie hands, hop the feet together to the center of the mat. And inhale, arms down to go up. Let's bring your right hand in front of your left wrist and flip the palms. Push your right hand into the left hand and side bend. Looking down at first, just notice what that's like. Maybe even rest your head on your snuggling into your bicep. Push down with that top hand. Side bending. Notice that big stretch. Where are you feeling it? Now notice what happens if you look up. Only if it's okay for your neck. Just see how that changes the pose. One more breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bring the hands out in front, cross just like this. Then allow them to flip and open out, radiating out. Graceful beasts. Bring your hands back to your heart. Genie hands, hop the feet apart. Radiate out. Now, on your next exhalation, let's turn our right toes out. Let your left heel drop away. Warrior two. Notice warrior two. I'm looking at your warrior twos. I'm seeing, remember, your big toe, you can still see on the inside of your knee, and your knee doesn't come in front of your ankle. Good job all the way around. Can you soften your shoulders just a little bit more? Yeah, so make the effort just in your arms. Yeah, good job. Now, fire up the arms, reach way out in both directions. Flip the palms up. Notice what that feels like. Be with it for a moment. Root down into both feet. How does that one simple change in the pose shift your energy? Does it? Maybe it doesn't. On your next exhale, let's bring that left hand to the left thigh. Right hand reaches way high. Exalted warrior. Root down into both feet. Gaze up at our right hand and play. Let's for a moment think about where our feet are in space while we're looking up. Notice if that changes the pose. Just think about where the feet are. Feel into the bottoms of both feet while looking up. And now on your exhalation, look down at your left foot, reaching back through those left fingertips, maybe even walking them down the leg a little bit more. Right hand reaches way high up and over. And now think into where your right fingertips are. Those ones that are up in the sky, just think about where they are. Now exploring a little bit more, look back up at your right arm. Notice the energy of the pose. Feel into your foundation, your feet. And then look back down at that left foot one more time and think about your right hand. Just notice what that does to your energy to be looking one direction and thinking about something else. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it weird? Is it hard? Is it scattering? Is it easy? Could be any of those. On your next inhalation, let's straighten the front leg and wind the arms all the way around into triangle pose. Right hand reaches down, left hand reaches up. So not picking on your triangles yet, so let them be whatever they are. We'll get there, I promise. And as you sink your bottom hand, radiate out through the top arm, let your shoulder girdle be broad. So as if someone was pulling your fingertips in opposite directions. And root down into your feet. Tuck your right hip under slightly. And then on your next exhale, begin to bend that right knee. Coming back up into warrior two, turn the toes toward the center of the mat. Float the hands to the heart, thumbs to the sternum. From here, heel and toe your feet in a little bit. Genie hands, let the feet hop together. Inhale, arms down to go up. Left wrist in front of right wrist this time. Turn the palms. We're gonna side bend to the left, look down. Check in with your energy. Notice your feet, we're looking down, so notice your foundation. What happens when you look up? No forcing, remember? Just being with your experience. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Bring the hands out in front. Do that funky little graceful twisty thing. Bring the palms through center and open out. Radiating out with ease. Palms float back into the heart. We'll rock our weight side to side and bring genie hands, hop the feet apart. We'll go back with our left toes pointing toward the short edge of the mat. That's this way for you guys. Warrior two, we're gonna flow through one whole moon salutation. Reach out in both directions. Think about there being weights on your sits bones, rooting you downward. Find your edge. And now on your exhale, right hand floats back, left hand floats up. Exalted warrior. Big inhalation, straighten the front leg. Big exhalation, wind around into triangle. Trikonasana. Looking good, people. All right, so on your next exhalation, let's sweep the right hand down, step the back foot in, stomp that foot into the ground so that your feet are in two lanes of traffic so that your hips can turn toward the short edge of the mat. If you keep them together, your hips stay too locked. So step it out a little bit, turn the hips toward the front edge of the mat, and then we're so close with that back foot that the whole foot can root down. So we're releasing the crown of our head over this front leg, and we have as much of a bend in this left knee as you need. So pause in your pyramid pose. And again, yeah, front knee is as straight as you need it to be or not. Take a deep breath in and bend the front knee a little bit, 3 or 4 inches. Now push down into both feet and pull the floor apart between the feet. Yep. So hamstrings, right? Yep. And now, on your next exhalation, stop the pulling of the floor apart between the feet and straighten your left leg a little bit more, or all the way straight, your choice. Check in with your right foot, make sure it's rooting down. The whole heel, Katie, whole heel. Yeah, oh, yeah, I can see that little light underneath that heel. You can step it in a little closer if you need to. And then on your next exhale, she's like, I'm never coming back. She's calling me out. On my next exhalation, root the hands and step the right foot back into a lunge. Lengthen forward through the crown of the head. Turn on this lunge. So lunges can just be like, okay, I'm hanging out here. Once we've done them a million times in sun salutations, but we can turn it on. Press into your hands, pull the mat back towards you. Root down into that right foot, pull the left foot toward the right foot. Reach forward through the crown of the head. Wrap your left armpit around your left knee and hug it. Turn on all the muscles of the legs, pull them in toward the bone. And then on your next exhale, let's walk the hands around to the long edge of the mat, coming into a side lunge. Stay right here or sink over into Skandasana. So right heel to the ground, and we kind of sit on our left heel, and this is optional. You can just stay in the side lunge if you like. Maybe lift the hands, maybe not. I don't know what's happening to the music. It was nice when it lasted. And then exhale the hands to the ground and come into center and step. Release the crown of the head in that nice wide angle forward fold. Let your feet part even more. Find your edge or bring them closer together if that feels better. So feels better in yoga. We're not looking for any no pain, no gain stuff, right? We're just looking for our edge. Our edge, which is that place where our breath is still flowing and smooth and it's not boring. So just notice where that is for you today. Root your hands into the ground, bring them in alignment with your feet maybe. Push the floor forward. If the hands don't make it to the floor, keep the hands attached to the hips. And bring your hands maybe around the back side of the body and push. So you shorten this distance between thighs and torso. Lots of options. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Rooted in both feet. Walk the hands forward underneath the shoulders. Now hop your feet to about 1.5 feet apart. Coming into garland pose, we like to rock from our heels to our toes, palms come together, elbows to the inside of the knees, and we sink our hips down, 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 down. Roll the shoulders back, because it's easy to round here, right? It's easy to round. It's easy to drop into your arches. Push out into the outer edges of the feet. Push the palms together, push the knees out, get tall. Good job, good job, good job. Yep, yep, yep. Garland pose. Take a deep breath in. 1 more. Now push down into the feet, rise all the way up. Big circle with the arms. Again, if you get dizzy, hand over the bridge of the nose. Palms come together at the heart. Remember your intention. Lift your heels a little bit, rock your weight side to side. And on your exhalation, arms go down to float up. Gather the hands together and sink right back down into your garland pose. Push out toward those long edges of the feet. And from here inside of garland pose, we'll press your hands down, straighten the legs, hands plant, hop the feet wide, hands walk over to the right side. Into side lunge, we can stay right here with the feet on the ground or roll into that left heel. Sending into Skandasana. Maybe arms rise, maybe they don't. Breathe it in, 1 more breath. And when you're ready, exhale, plant the hands, coming into the lunge. We're gonna turn on this lunge a little bit. So root into both feet, wrap the armpit around the knee. Hug the muscles into the bone, draw the feet toward each other. Lengthen through the crown of the head. 1 more breath here. Step the left foot in, coming to pyramid pose. So remember, we walk that foot in far enough so we can root that whole foot to the ground, straightening the front leg. Pour out over the right leg. Hello, throat. And as we reach the crown of our head toward the right foot, soften your face. Bend the front knee 3 or 4 inches, root down into both feet. Pull the floor apart between the feet like you could stretch the mat out like tapping. 2 more breaths, pulling the mat apart. And soften the front knee, pouring out once more over the front leg. Be with this big old hamstring stretch. Sliding your right hip crease back a little bit. Lift up that left foot, step it out, and we're preparing for triangle. So right heel points toward left heel. Right hand comes to the inside of the right leg, and we begin to slide the left hand up. I think it's really advisable to come way out of the pose when you're coming from the floor into triangle. Come way high so that you can look down and see your thigh and your chest, your torso all in one plane. And then begin to sink. Slow motion into your triangle pose. It's almost up. Well, it's the same pose, but a whole different entry, which makes it feel a whole lot different. And getting this right hand to the floor is completely not necessary. It's really all about being in one plane. So imagine your back side of your body pressed into a wall. So we're pulling everything back, tucking that right hip under. And we'll leave that there. Rooting the right hand down toward the earth or pressing the back of that arm into the leg. We want to look down at the right foot or up at the top hand if that feels okay to your neck and your balance and your energy. Because it's energetic too, right? So have you noticed, maybe you've noticed, maybe it's different for you. When you look up, the pose is more, well, it's more energized. When you look down, it's more grounding. Maybe it's different. On your next exhale, let's begin to bend the front knee and wind the arms all the way around to exalted warrior. Reach up, root down, sink toward that 90-degree angle in the front knee. Breathe. wind the arms into warrior two. Still looking good all the way around the room. It's awesome. You guys who have practiced with me for a long time, I can see. Sometimes you sink into a pose a little too far and I notice you're pulling yourself back. Your body just knows. It's good. It's good, good, good. From your warrior two, let's turn our toes toward the long edge of the mat, 5-pointed star. Let's heel and toe our feet in just a little bit, a couple of times, but rock just like we did before, heels and toes. You know where we're going. Goddess pose. Sink your hips down. Arms are like cactus arms. So see if you can, without a mirror, this is really challenging, get your elbows up to the same height as your shoulders. It's really easy to dink them down a little bit, just a little, we get a little lazy, but we're gonna keep them right up there. I did this in front of the mirror the other day and I realized, hey, you're slacking. Reach it out. And once more, just like triangle, our hips, back of our head, our shoulders are all on an imaginary wall. So notice how, when you think about that, this pose even turns on your core a little bit, maybe a lot. Sink down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink down. Now look down at your right knee. Make sure the knee is pointing in the same direction as the toes. It's not dropping in. So if you need to bring your feet a little bit closer so you can get your knees and toes in the same alignment, that's great. Now look at your left, same. Find your edge. Good job. Wow, wow. You guys are like the cover of Yoga Journal. Inhale, rise up. Like who needs to be that? Drop your elbows out, or your elbows. Those aren't elbows, those are heels. Drop your heels out a little bit more. We're gonna bring our hands behind our back, clasp, roll the shoulders open. We don't get many back bends naturally in a moon salutation, so we're gonna take one now. Root the hands backward, lean back, and forward fold. And the arms rise, big stretch for the arms, releasing the crown of the head. Now, once you've arrived here with head released, hands rising, bend your right knee a little bit, sinking toward the right. Inhale back to center. Bend your left knee a little bit, sinking toward the left. Inhale, straighten the center and release the hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift when you're ready. Heel and toe your feet a little closer, setting up, the knees pointing the same direction as the toes. We're moving back into that goddess pose. So bring your hands up to your thighs. At first, we'll kind of walk ourselves up into it. First, drawing the elbows toward each other, bringing out that space between the scapulars, where we store a lot of stuck energy. So from here, press those toward each other, elbows moving upward, shoulders away from jaw, and then inhale, peel up into goddess pose. Arms come along. Yeah, nice. Adjust your feet as you arrive. Make sure you're checking with those knees. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink. Right forearm to right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. You can play with that energy again, looking down at the right foot or up at the left arm. Sink your left sits bone a little bit because it really wants to come along over here to the right side. One more breath. Center. Left forearm, left thigh. Right arm reaches. Look down at the left foot at first. You can keep your gaze there if it's okay, if it's best for your neck. If not, play around with looking up and notice how that changes the pose. Rooting that right sits bone. Your legs waking up. Inhale, center. Inhale one more time. We inhale a lot here apparently. 5-point star. Hands come to heart. Heel and toe in a couple of times. Genie hands, hop the feet together. Arms go down to float up. Let's right hand in front of left side bend. Look down for a moment. Play with looking up. Inhale, rise. Pull the hands through center. Open out. Lift the heart, lean back. And float hands to heart. From here, let's sweep the arms down to go up. Let's do left in front of right. Palms flip. And side bend to the left. Big stretch. Find your edge. Maybe look up. Inhale up. Exhale, hands float forward, slicing through challenges and opening out into possibility. So from here, float the hands back to the heart. Genie hands, hop the feet apart. 5-point star radiating out in all directions. From here, we're going to turn back our right toes toward the short edge of the mat. So the direction we just came from a few moments ago. From here, let's bend our front knee, warrior 2. And we're going to refine some stuff, maybe go a little bit faster or maybe slower. Let's see what we need. Inhale, arms up, exalted. Exhale, root down into that front knee, see how it feels. See how it feels here. Yep. Bend your right forearm, bring the right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches. Yep. See if you can make a small letter T from your knee and your forearm. So the elbow's not way forward, it's the middle of the arm, and there's not a lot of weight here. This is just a guide. So we're not hanging out, right? This is just here as a guide. Peek down at your right foot, knee and toes are pointing in the same direction. And stretch out the whole left side. Notice how this side stretch is different than all the other side stretches we've done today. Maybe, maybe not. Reach out to the left hand, root down to the left foot. Find that one line of energy from the rooting of the left foot all the way through the left fingertips. It's all about the energy of the pose. Now we're looking down at our foot maybe, or maybe we're looking up at our top arm. Notice how that changes the pose. Modified extended side angle, one of my absolute favorite poses. Look at all that's going on in your body. On your exhalation, let's, easy does it, straighten the right leg and just drop the right arm. Triangle pose. Nice deep triangle pose. Yeah, if your left arm's getting tired, bring it to your hip. It's okay. So everybody take a peek down, make sure that you're in alignment, shoulders right over thigh. And then begin to look up. See if that left arm is rooting into the shoulder and then moving straight up toward the ceiling. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. Tuck your right hip under a little bit more. Deepen your triangle pose. Good job. I like when I see little bends in knees if you need it. I like when I see straight legs. And head in line with spine dot if you can. Either look down or up. That helps usually. Yep, see now your head's in line with your spine. Now think about your left front of your left shoulder and see if you can just draw it back just a hair more. See if you can get a little supple in that top shoulder. Maybe some circles even. It doesn't feel locked there. Let's bring the left hand to the left thigh. Look down at the right foot. From here, sweep the left foot to the ground, bending the right knee. Left heel comes off the ground, left foot steps in a few times. Pyramid pose again, and it could be a little wider than it was before now that we've been here a couple of times. And as we pour out over the front knee, release the crown of the head. Think about drawing your right foot back and your left foot forward. As if you were turning on one switch by pulling the left foot up, pushing the switch up, and turning off another switch by pulling the right foot back. You can even root into your fingertips, push the floor forward here. And if your hands don't reach to the floor, keep them on your hips and push your hips back slightly with your hands. Pyramid pose. Breathe it in. Elongate the spine. For one more round, let's see if we can. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift your head just slightly. Feel a long line from the tailbone through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, fold in a little deeper. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, elongate. Look at the right big toe and exhale, fold in. From here, root the hands, lift the left leg up into the sky, standing splits. You know you love this one. Soon we'll have walls again. Maybe we'll be back in the small dining room. We can use the wall behind us to really push that foot higher. Press your torso toward your standing thigh. Push into the fingertips, pushing the floor forward, or play with lifting your hands and wrapping around the standing leg. Maybe one, maybe both. And as you're ready, left foot comes to the ground in a lunge. Let's mix it up. Left knee to the ground, rise up in a low lunge. We don't usually get these in moon salutations, but let's take one. Lean back. Osprey it up. Exhale, floating the hands back to the ground. Lift the left knee. Hands walk around to the long edge of the mat. Side lunge. So stay here in the side lunge or rise up into Skandasana. Challenging your balance a little. Exhale, hands to the ground. Straighten the legs, walking the hands into center, fold in. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release the weight of the head. Root into the hands, push the floor forward or the hips forward, wherever your hands are landing. It's not a forcing, it's an invitation. You can always say no. Hands come under the shoulders, and from here, let's hop the feet closer together. We're moving into garland pose. They're about 1.5 feet or so-ish apart. Rock your weight side to side. Again, knees and toes in alignment. Palms come together, elbows to the inside of knees, and we sink. Garland pose. Root the hands, shoulders move away from the jaw. Breathing in, breathing out. Awesome sauce. I love the modifications. Good job. One more breath. Exhale, hands to the mat. Begin to straighten the legs. Hop the feet back out wide. Release the crown of the head. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, walk hands over toward the left. Side lunge, stay right here, or roll up into the right heel. Sitting down on the left. And maybe we lift the arms, maybe we don't. Soften your face wherever you are. Let the effort be where the effort is, not in your face, right? It's really easy to get your face all screwed up in some of these poses. Exhale, hands to the ground. From here, come with the hands rocking around the left foot for lunge. And take that nice knee drop, right knee to the ground. Rise up, reach up, expand. Exhale, hands back to the ground. Right knee lifts, and from here, let's step our right foot in first for pyramid before standing splits. So walk your right foot in until you can get the whole foot on the ground. Pour out over the front leg, and surrender the weight of your torso. One more breath. Hands walk forward a few inches and we raise the right leg up into the sky, standing splits. Think about the effort coming from the front of the right thigh, if possible. And then release the crown of the head. If you don't want to think about lifting your hands all the way, just think about softening the hold on the ground. Just maybe float the fingers above the ground. Maybe wrap the hands around the standing leg, maybe not. One more breath. Right foot comes into the lunge. Spin the right heel down. We'll bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg. And let's reach the right hand up to the sky, straighten the left leg. Triangle. Now bring your torso up out of the pose more than you think you need to draw the right shoulder right over the left shoulder and right over the left thigh. And then sink towards your edge in triangle pose. See if you can set your gaze down or up, one or the other. Yep, yep. Easy to let your head be heavy here and drop it out of alignment. So just check in with that. Crown of the head is in a straight line from your tail. A couple more breaths here, exploring triangle. You got this. Tuck that left hip under slightly. Roll that right shoulder back a little. Even if it's just a hair. And then begin to bend the left knee, bringing the left forearm to the left thigh. Maybe walk your right foot in a step, maybe not. Right arm reaches all the way up and over. And again, this left arm isn't dumping weight. It's just there as a guide to know when to stop, right? So reach through the right hand. As you root down into the right foot, feel that awesome side stretch. Play with looking down. Play with looking up. Breathe down into your belly. Notice what's happening in your body. Now begin to wind your right hand all the way back to your right leg. Left hand reaches up and over. Exalted warrior. Warrior two. Five-pointed star. Hands to heart. Gaze towards your fingertips. Remember your intention. Heel and toe your feet in a couple of times. Genie hands, hop, feet together. Inhale, arms down to go up. Right hand in front of left hand. Lift the palms, press down, and side bend to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, palms come forward. See it slice through any challenges you have going on and draw that energy in and out. Exhale, hands to heart, remembering your intention. Inhale, arms down to go up. Left wrist in front of right. Press the left palm down, side bend. Reach out to the fingertips. Down or up, your choice. Inhale, rise. Exhale, slice through. Draw in the energy of that and open out. Exhale, hands to heart. Genie hands, hop. Left toes turn out. Warrior two. Reach out in both directions. Anybody sweating? Yay! Reach, reach, reach. Right hand down, left hand up and over. I thought it was just hot flashes over here. Rooting down, sink, 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 feet nut, front knee, roll your shoulders back. Yep, an exalted warrior. Head stays in line with spine. So either look down at your back foot or up at your top hand. On your exhalation, yeah, unless you're busy. On your exhalation, begin to straighten that front leg. Wind your arms all the way around until they're at like bar height. Then reach way over through the left fingertips. So we're gonna stay in this weird, arms are parallel to the earth. Now think about where your left hip crease is, front hip crease. Shift it back. Reach all the way over, even more, and then drop the left arm down, right arm up. Deepening your triangle. Good job. Great. See if you can draw your torso back a little bit there. Top, back towards your legs. Top shoulder back. Yes, the other direction. Other left, other right. And then on your next exhale, let's peek down our left foot. You know where we love to go here is half moon. Look at your pinky toe side of your foot. Plot a spot 10 inches forward from your pinky toe and 2 inches toward the long edge of the mat. And we're going to step off from our right foot and land our left hand in that spot we just plotted on the ground, lifting your right leg off the ground, right arm to the sky. Press out through your right foot as if you were making an impression in concrete with that right foot. For all posterity. Roll your right shoulder open. Now this is a challenging pose to look up in. Don't do it if you don't feel like it, but if you want to play with journeying your gaze upward, just see how that feels. Maybe you'll get part of the way, maybe you'll get the whole way. Two more breaths here. Exhale, right hand comes down, right foot sinks down, and we'll land in a lunge. From the lunge, let's step our right foot forward, Finding pyramid, press the feet down, press the hands down, or into the hips if your hands aren't reaching the foot, perfectly fine. And also hold on to the back of the calf and press it towards you, the back of the thigh, press it towards you. Wherever your hands land is perfect. We're elongating the spine over this front leg. And then let's inhale right leg up into the sky, standing splits. Now, if you want some more, I don't know, work in your yoga today, if you don't, stay right where you are. If you want a little more work, draw the right knee to the back of the left knee, look forward. Inhale, extend. You get to do you, boo. Shift forward and extend. Couple more times, just deciding if this is where you want to be today, and that's okay. If you're holding this pose the whole time, it's awesome hard too, so you do you. One more if you're stretching it out, and when you're ready, everybody sink that right foot to the ground into a lunge. From the lunge, let's heel and toe our right foot over toward our, actually I have our left foot over toward our right hand. Let's find pigeon pose right here in the middle of our practice. Yummy, yummy pigeon pose. And if this is not yummy to you, you can do it on your back. You know, thread the needle is great. So root down into your hands, lengthen through the crown of the head. Think about your shoulder points pointing straight forward in alignment with the short edge of your mat. Think about your hip points also coming more towards straight with the front edge of the mat. So you can help that by dragging the knees toward each other. Press down in the arms. Stretch out the front body. See if you can look up a little. Roll the shoulders back a little. Let's pick up your back knee for a second. Press out through the heel. If that's okay for your back knee, give it a big stretch for that right leg. And then sink the right knee down. Left hand comes to center. Right hand reaches around behind, and maybe that right foot comes up into the hand. Maybe it doesn't. It might stay glued. That happens. So if you're super stretchy, you might want to hold on to the outside of the foot and bring the other hand around to hold on to the foot. If you're working in the middle somewhere, holding on to the inside of the foot's great, opens the front of the right shoulder. And then maybe we can lift the left hand. Drag the knees toward each other a little bit. Breathe. When you're ready, sink that hand down, release the back leg. Square off hips and shoulders once more, and then think of a really long space happening between the pubis and the crown of the head. So there's no crunching anywhere in this whole front body. Nice, long, stretched out, and then fold over the front leg. Maybe, maybe not. And if you like, feel free to move to your back here. So then we use thread the needle to get the same action in this hip, but just in a little bit different way, a little more forgiving maybe. So as you make your way into this deep pigeon fold, we're going to stay here for a generous amount of breaths. So allow the breaths themselves to be generous as you invite in super deep, detoxifying breaths, super deep, nourishing breaths, and allow this easy system that you've been really with you your whole life to bring you to a place of peace in this moment, and introspection. Just notice how this pose feels right now. On your next exhalation, begin to press your hands down into the earth and rise up. And if you're on your back, just rejoin us in. So lift that left foot and come into a lunge. So everybody come back into a lunge with the left foot forward. Just notice how that feels. Walking the hands around to the long edge of the mat. Side lunge. Stay here or Skandasana, your choice. Inhale and center when you're ready. Take your time to get there. And release the crown of the head. Feel free to tuck your pinkies into your elbow creases or keep the hands rooted, your choice. Maybe the elbows are rooting on the ground. Maybe the head is coming to the ground. One more breath. Hands to the ground, lift halfway. And hop the feet closer for garland pose, or about 1.5-ish foot apart. See if you can root from heels to toes a few times. And then we keep rocking back and forth. Hold on to your ankles if possible, or place your hands on your knees. And just rock here, staying higher to find your balance. And then keep your hips in alignment with your knees for a moment. Plant the feet, elbows tucking to the insides of the knees. And just let the hips sink, slow motion, let the hands begin to slide forward. See if you can keep your heels on the ground as you walk. Keep adjusting so you find that perfect alignment for you. And find your garland pose. Maybe, maybe not. And once you've arrived in garland pose, root down through the sits bones, lengthen through the crown, press back, the elbows. Hands come down. Let's walk our feet close together. Play with maybe crow or crane. You can come up onto the balls of the feet. Heels can come together. First, let's play with our balance. Maybe bring your hands up to your knees. Maybe not. It's just a little. Really could be easy, could be hard, depending on who you are, how you are today. When you're ready, let's exhale our hands to the ground. Nice and wide, just a little bit wider than hips and shoulders, and then your fingers are spread really wide. Remember that gecko hand, we want to spread that weight out in the fingertips and palms. So from here, lift the knees up. Bend your elbows so you get a nice shelf. We're going to get a 90-degree angle on that elbow if possible. Hug the hips in toward the middle, hug the knees in toward the middle. Press your knees up either into your armpits or up onto the shelf we're building with the forearms. Look forward, don't look down. Forward, 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 forward. And draw everything up into the center. Maybe both feet rise up, maybe they don't. Maybe one foot does. Maybe we stack one foot on top of the other ankle. Just play with this pose today. Noticing where your weight is. See if you can encourage. And then exhale when you're ready, come out. Walking hands forward toward the front of the mat. Straighten the legs, hop the feet wide. Pour out. Hold on to the legs somewhere and pull them towards you. Wherever your hands reach, maybe it's the feet. Gentle, maybe rocking your knees into little bends. And then fingertips to the ground, rise halfway. Hop your feet a little closer for goddess pose. Rock your weight back and forth, hands come to the knees. We sink our hips in line with the knees if possible. And then begin to round up, goddess pose. Take a deep breath in. Rise up, hug one star. Load hands to heart. Check in with your intention. Inhale, open. Turn your right toes out toward the short edge of the mat. Left heel drops away and we bend the front knee. Warrior two. Shoulders sink. From warrior two, exalted warrior. Reach. Sink the right knee. Broad across the collarbones. On your exhalation, let's begin to straighten the right leg. Think of your arms really broad, as wide as they can go, and then come into that place where that right arm is on the top of the bar, right? I see you all at the bar. Reach all the way over. Tuck the right hip back, back, back. Right fingertips all the way forward, forward, forward. Go a little farther. And then drop the right hand, left hand up. Triangle pose. Good job. Beautiful triangle poses. Think about looking either down at your right foot or up at your top arm. Choose one. Root down and rise up. Tucking that right hip under a little bit more. Left shoulder back a little bit more. Peek down at your right foot. Plot the spot 10 inches forward from the pinky toe, 2 inches toward the long edge of the mat, toward the right side. Begin to bend the right knee, stepping forward with the left foot a couple of times. Right hand comes to that spot on the ground, and we rise in half moon. Plant that left foot on the ground. That's pretend ground, right? So it's like that concrete, pushing the left foot into that concrete to make an impression. Stack your left shoulder right on top of your right shoulder. If it's really, really, really hard, try to smile and see what that feels like. It's not a fake it till you make it. It's more of a introducing a softness to your face, because when stuff's really hard, sometimes our face wants to help and it doesn't. Elongate out of that left foot through the crown of the head. One more breath, you got this. And exhale, bend the right knee, sinking back. Let the left hand come down, walk into the lunge. Left heel off the ground. Step your left foot forward, pyramid. Pouring out. Is anybody thinking, God, how long is this class? I am. It appears we may be going over. I hope we don't screw anybody up. I'll give you a time check in a minute. So on your next exhalation, we're going to peek forward and come into standing splits. Optional knee tucks, right? So if you want them, drag the back knee toward the back of the right knee. Extend with breath. If you don't want them, play with the standing splits. It's perfect. A lot already. Tuck the belly button toward the spine on the exhale. Soften on the inhale. Exhale, step it out into the lunge. Hands walk around toward the long edge of the mat. Whoopie doodle. Nope, we get a beautiful pigeon pose. Heel and toe your right foot over to your left hand in the lunge. Lay the shin down. Good boy. Root down into the fingertips. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Find that long line from pubis to crown. Drag the knees toward each other to square off. Right hand center, left hand reaches. Maybe that foot comes off the ground, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you want to use both hands. Maybe you want to use one. Lift your hand, right hand if possible, maybe, maybe not. Exhale, release. Let go of the back leg. Square off once more. Push down into the hands, elongate, and fold. So I am diametrically opposed to jipping people out of Shavasana. So if you guys are okay with going 5 minutes over, that's great. If not, take Shavasana now. Maybe not a whole 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. Breathing into your back body. See if you can span the space up between your scapulas. Breathe. Enjoy this. Bringing out of that right hip crease, whether you're in thread the needle on your back or pigeon, gazing downward. Nobody's panicking about the time. It's 10:44 in case you've got an important emergency or something to run to. But remember, it's just Shavasana. 2 more breaths. On your exhalation, bring your hands to the ground. Lift up, stretch out, and turn your back toes under. We'll step the right foot up between the hands once more. We just need to get in this side lunge. We can head to Shavasana. Then we're even, Stephen. Side lunge. Center. Fold. Halfway lift. Knees come to the ground. And we'll all point our feet toward the pool. As we come lying down on our backs for Shavasana. Pull the knees into the mat or into the chest. And then let them drop out to the sides toward the mat. Holding on. Reach up for the long edges of the feet, happy baby. Rock a little side to side. And without too much ado, make your way into Shavasana. Like you're in 5-pointed star, take up some space, radiate out in all directions as the back body sinks into the earth and the front body becomes soft. With each exhalation, just become heavier and heavier. Take in one smooth, deep breath to fill your whole body. The best deep breath you've taken all day long, nourishing. Exhale, ease it out, and surrender completely. Now on your next exhalation, sigh it out. Draw in one more smooth, deep breath, just like that last one. That was an invitation. Deep, full breath. Sigh it out. Ease your feet to the ground. Press yourself up to seated in this direction. Soften your face, eyes closed, maybe. Bring a smile to your face. Not to fake anything, but because it actually releases chemicals in your body that make you feel good, that make you feel calm, that connect you to source. So, big smile maybe. Then exhale, chin toward chest. Ease, eyes open. Inhale, arms and gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Namaste.